Do you want to go pro so you can start making money, or you just want to keep on fighting as much as possible and not worry about making money? Because at some point, you got to move out of mom's basement, I would hope. But like, I think you have an opportunity to actually start making money in fighting if you go pro and you keep on winning, but you won't be able to fight 2 or 3 times a month.
Yeah, you know, I want to move out of here as fast as possible. Whatever brand is willing to work with me multiple times, I'm happy to do. I'm still working out like the kinks of like kind of being micro famous, because like you have to talk to the corpos, and I hate talking to the corpos about making money and doing promotions, but it must be done.
But no, I think if you don't want to talk to, you know, the corporate and brands and sponsors, that's where you need an agent. An agent can do all that for you. And then the agent will let you know what to do. And then it'll be basically the middleman. He'll take 15 to 20%. Okay, so you're going to fight in Texas, and then after that, you're going to try to go pro. I was thinking about are you in talks with CFFC and the other organizations to go pro?
Yes. So I talked to one of their matchmakers, but this is kind of funny. They blocked me because I kept messaging them about me wanting to fight on their card. I don't know why they blocked me, because all I did was say, hey, here's like a pre-generated text of my record. I'm Wing C. I want to fight on your card. And then every like couple of months, I'd remind them by sending this smiling dog gif. Here's the gif. And then I would send it to them, and then they blocked me. But then they had another like matchmaker reach out to me. They're like, hey, we got to have you on our October card. So that management is kind of fragmented, but hey, put me on your card, CFFC. You know you want to see me dance. I'm funny in Sigma.
Right now, you're training in a gym. Where do you train at?
I train out of Jiu-Jitsu 1, which is but I've trained around multiple gyms in PA. PA is strong because we have like Dagestani level wrestling, but we also have like some fragmented jiu-jitsu stuff and striking stuff. But we're kind of weak. We're in a weird spot. We're right near Philly, but I'm 2 hours away from Philly, so it's not as an easy drive.
When you act like this in class, actually you actually trained with me. You're actually well behaved and chilled and relaxed. How does your professor deal with teaching you new moves when you're in class? Like, I feel you have a lot of energy. You're all over the place. You can't focus. You can't sit down. How does he deal with that?
That's a good question, because you're exactly right. I don't focus, and I don't really listen to the coach. And that's how my style was kind of developed, because I just do whatever I think is coolest. And I learn the most in sparring and in real rollings, because then I figure out what part of my style doesn't work against other people, and I kind of build conclusions from that. I still pay attention. Shout out Josiah Suarez. Shout out Nick at Jiu-Jitsu 1. But they low-key have to tell me again after every time they explain it, because my mind is somewhere else. And it's my learning disability. It's also why I freaking sucked in school, bro. I dropped out of school, Mighty, but I went back into it. But there's a lot of Wing C lore.
Now, did you get your GED, or you didn't get a diploma?
So this is actually pretty cool. My original graduating class was class of 2020, which was COVID year. So that class basically didn't get a graduation. But I dropped out, and then I went back into it because of a girl that I liked, and she convinced me. And then I ended up graduating and passing with like C's and D's. But shout out my guidance counselor. She got me through it. So there was I basically learned a lot in the year that I was dropped out when I was just working than the whole entire 13 years of government education that I did. I learned more in 1 year being an adult and working a job, waking up at 4 a.m. at 17, 16 than I ever did throughout all of that government mandated education.
What job were you doing?
I was just lifeguarding, getting up at 4 a.m. and making sure people didn't drown at a gym.
Have you ever thought about getting a job now and pursuing, mixed martial arts and fighting?
I've looked into it. I could probably start teaching privates now. I had an offer to go teach a seminar at Pitt for their MMA club, and I'm gonna go teach them even though I don't think I'm really qualified to teach, but like in terms of I've taught breakdancing before. So I think if I taught like just movement instead of like what works with like certain kicks or punches, I am actually a pretty good teacher. Like, cause hopefully that answers the question. I know it kind of doesn't, but yes, I have thought about it, chat.
I mean, if you get offers to go out and do seminars and stuff, I think you should do it. I do believe you have good movement, right? That's like the hardest thing that I think a lot of people have to deal with you is your movement and the emoting, right? And I think once you fight someone who's like, I'm not going to be bothered by the movement and emote, that's where you're going to run into trouble, which you've had in the past. But you should take them up on that seminar. I think you might be able to make some good money.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's for my buddy.